What's up, everybody? It's your boy Meme here. My hair is a little unusual because I just took a shower, and when I take a shower and I'm not going out anywhere, I just sort of slick my hair back, which looks very weird. And honestly, I probably shouldn't do that because I have curly hair. I shouldn't even be using a hairbrush, but I don't think. I don't know. I haven't looked up how to deal with curly hair. And don't tell me in the comments because I'm not going to follow your advice. I'll do it on my own time. I'll figure it out on my own time, okay? And I'll regret it later. And I recognize that. For breakfast, I had a breakfast sandwich that my mom very nicely made me. For lunch, I had some stew, some beef stew. And for dinner, we had some pizza. I woke up this morning at 4:30 or 4:20 or something. No, 4:20. And then I brushed my teeth, and then I washed my face. And then I sort of half got ready. I got some of my clothes on. And then my mom very nicely finished the breakfast sandwich she was making me, which is very nice of her. And then I ate that, and then I finished getting ready. And then my mom and I drove to work because we work at the same place. So I came in. I was on my phone for a little bit, and I also was talking to my mom for a little bit. But then I got to work. I started taking out the trash. I started sweeping. And after I was sweeping for a while, my boss came in, and we talked. It's been a couple weeks since I saw him, so it was cool seeing him. And I was essentially just walking around and cleaning. As much as it's stressful when there's a lot of stuff to do in the lab, it sucks just as equally when there's nothing to do in the lab, because there's nothing to do in the lab. It's terrible. I'm walking around and I'm sure, I am sweeping and I am putting stuff away and I am organizing, but it all feels very transient and almost Sisyphusian in a way. I've always said Sisyphusian, but I was watching the news today and somebody said they meant to say that, but they said it in a different way. So maybe I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Hold on. Let's just see. I'm gonna open this in an incognito window. How to pronounce Sisyphusian. Dark theme. Oh, is it Sisyphean? Hold on. Let's see.
Sisyphean. Sisyphean.
Sisyphean. Okay, yeah. It's even spelt like that. Okay. Because his name is Sisyphus, right? So I would expect it to be Sisyphusian, but I guess it's Sisyphean. Okay. Oh well, I was wrong. And the person on the news was correct. Sisyphean. It was, what'd I say? Transient and Sisyphean when when there's nothing to do in the lab and I'm walking around and I'm changing batteries out. It all feels very silly. So then my boss was like, hey, pretty soon when this other person comes in, you should help him do measurements on the model. And I was like, okay, cool. So he came in. I was like, hey, I'm here to help you do measurements on the model. And he said, oh, the laser needs to warm up for 2 hours. And I was like, oh, okay. So I sort of just started doing just random stuff again for another 2 hours. And then he was like, okay, I'm ready for your help. And essentially, the thing that he needed to do is he needs to put the laser in a certain area, and then he needs to measure where the laser is in relative to other parts of the model. And then he needed to, I'm just telling you what he did before me. And then once he measured where the laser was in relation to other parts of the model, he would write that down, right? So he would write down the section and the distance of the 2 points that he's measuring from. And then he would, press a button on the computer. The laser would do its fancy measurements. And then it would generate 4 CSV files, which are just spreadsheet files. stands for comma separated value, because it's a cool way to represent a spreadsheet in a text format. So it spits out 4 CSV files, and then you just need to move them into a folder you create, and the name of the folder is the name of the location of the measurements that you took. So every time you take the 2 measurements of the laser relative to where the model is, those 2 measurements sort of have a name to them. It's like AA1, AA2, AA3. It wasn't that, but like it's something like that. It's like, we have a numbering system, and so you would move the 4 spreadsheets that have those measurements just into the AA1 folder, right? And it was a lot of trouble him doing this because they pay him a lot of money, and it's silly that a lot of his time is spent manually moving folders around. So, because he's like an engineer, right? He's like a civil engineer. I don't know what type of engineer he is. Not a civil engineer. I'm fairly confident he's not a civil engineer, but he could be. Okay, ignore everything I said. He's an engineer, right? And so essentially the thing I was doing is he just moves the laser, then he just tells me the measurements, and then I write them down, and then I press start, and then I'm the one who moves the folders, the CSV files into the folders. And it's cool because all he has to do is just move the laser. So he doesn't have to go from the laser to the computer. He could just yell the numbers to me, or just tell the numbers to me because he's right there. And he could just move the laser as he does the measurements. It's pretty easy. The only part of the largest downtime part became the time in which the laser is doing the measurements. It's essentially, I don't know. Actually, I don't know how much of this information about the laser is proprietary, but it takes like under a minute. But it's like high. It's high up there, so it takes a while per measurement. And I think it's a good sign that the largest time sink of the measurement became the measurement of like the measuring process became the measurement itself, like, because that means everything else is shorter than that. And yeah, nothing else. I also wanted to make a script where you write in the name of the folder you want to make, and then it just automatically, and then it just waits to see when this 4 CSV files are created, and then once it does that, it just automatically moves it into that folder. But I don't know PowerShell. This is something I've been a little spooked about. Since I switched to Linux in 2019, I've gotten really, really proficient at Bash, and I'm very good at making Bash scripts. However, since then, I know essentially nothing about PowerShell. I know 0 about PowerShell, like for real, actually 0. So I try to make this script with ChatGPT, right? Because I don't, I'm not learning PowerShell in like the 10 minutes I had during lunch to make this, during my lunch break, and air it out. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm not doing this. But if it did work the first time, it would have been very cool. I would have been like, excuse me, Mr. Engineer, I just shipped this script that we could use to improve our workflow, but what this needs to show is I just need to learn PowerShell. That's the moral of the story. I need to learn PowerShell just because I'm gonna have to run into it. And if I have the job I want, I will never have to interact with PowerShell, and I'll never have to interact with almost anything relating to Windows. But I can't expect that, right? And so I'm just gonna it's just gonna be something I'm gonna have to learn. Yeah, that's it, you freaks. Oh wait, no. So for lunch I had stew, and then I got home and I walked on the treadmill for 2 miles, and then I ate some pizza. I walked on the treadmill for like 1.4 miles, and then I ate some pizza, and then I walked on the treadmill for 0.6 miles, and then I took a shower, and then I did this really extensive plan for tomorrow. I would show you guys, but it has like images, like it has screenshots of the Maps app of what routes I'm going to take to places, because I'm also going to be taking my jeans to the tailor tomorrow to get them fixed, because my nice jeans have like 7 holes in them. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye, you weird freaks. What's your problem?